Today we will be talking about a Korean thriller movie with a lot of twists and turns that will keep you hooked to the very end. The movie starts with a family traveling together in a car to their new home. The family consists of our main character Jin Seok, his parents, and his elder brother Yoo Seok. Yoo Seok is a very admirable person who Jin Seok has always looked up to. Due to a car accident a year ago, Yoo Seok hurt his left leg, after which he now had some issues with walking. They moved to this new house that seemed a little familiar to Jin Seok at first glance. As we enter the house, it shows the date to be May 5, 1997, on the calendar. While unpacking, Jin Seok notices a locked room on the first floor. Yoo Seok informs him that this room has the belonging of the previous inhabitant, so everyone is prohibited from entering it. When Yoo Seok leaves to go down briefly, a mover asks Jin Seok if Yoo Seok is his elder brother, and then asks him about his age. Later during dinner, Jin Seok hears some noise from the room above. However, the family dismissed it as the sound of thunder. At midnight, the two brothers decide to take a stroll out. But on the way, Yoo Seok gets kidnapped by some men in a black van. Two detectives are assigned to the case of Yoo Seok's abduction. After days of waiting and no response from the kidnappers, they leave. Jin Seok happens to be on some medication to calm his nerve, which he needs to take daily. One night as he is sleeping alone in his room, he hears the door to the locked room open. Scared, he hides under the blanket. He could hear the footsteps reach near his room. When he finally gets out of the blanket to check, he sees a woman in white falling on him, and he wakes up. Exactly after 19 days, Yoo Seok returns, but he does not seem to have any memory of what occurred in those days with him. The doctor diagnosed him with dissociate amnesia, stating that memories were so painful that he erased them. Jin Seok now starts noticing strange behavior from his brother. One night he notices him leaving in the middle of the night. He also notices him limping on the wrong foot. When confronted, Yoo Seok dismisses the topic, saying that Jin Seok probably saw it all wrong. One night Jin Seok falls asleep on his study table. In the middle of the night, Yoo Seok gets up from his bed and stands next to his study table. He takes his metallic pencil and starts clicking it near his eyes to check if Jin Seok was sleeping. As soon as he gets out of the door, Jin Seok opens his eyes. He was just pretending to sleep. Jin Seok follows his brother outside. A little further from the house, his brother starts walking without any limp, as if his leg was not hurt at all. He hails a taxi to trail his brother. As he was hiding, he notices his brother talking to two men. Those two men were the detectives who came to his house to investigate the disappearance of Yoo Seok. Jin Seok gets noticed by those two men, and they try to catch him. Later, as he is hiding, Yoo Seok stealthily appears from behind and gets him unconscious. Jin Seok wakes up confused. He fights with Yoo Seok, telling him he followed him last night and saw it all. Yoo Seok explains to him how all of that is not true. He neither stepped outside last night, nor took a taxi, nor saw any men. He concludes it as a delusion, probably because he mistaking his meds, which does seem true. But when Jin Seok goes back to his room, he notices a lead on the floor of his metallic pencil. He remembers in horror as his brother brought up a taxi, but he never mentioned taking a taxi at all. He understands now that everything from last night was in fact true. He tells everything to his mother and advises her to keep this just between them for now. At night, when Jin Seok wakes up to drink water, he hears noises coming from his mother's room. He hears her telling someone that their plan has failed, as Jin Seok has slowly realized that something is wrong. Jin Seok, now confused, understands that his family is not what they pretend to be. He runs away with a man trailing behind. He gets saved by two policemen who take him to the police station. He explains the whole situation. When they ask him about his age, he says 21, but the policemen argue that he is 41 and it is the year 2017. He gets perplexed seeing smartphones, tablets, and the news on the television with the current president of Korea. When he looks at himself in the mirror and sees the wrinkles on his face, startled, he realizes he is indeed 41 years old. He goes back home to finally question his family about what is going on. He finds the locked room on the first floor unlocked. When he enters, he sees a mannequin on the floor with blood splashed over. Then his pretended family enters and stating that this time again their plan did not work. Yoo Seok now explains to Jin Seok that Jin Seok held a family that used to reside in this house 20 years ago, and since the police were not able to find the killer, the case was left open cold. He was hired by the surviving member of the family to find the truth behind the motive of the murder and to find the killer. After years of research, Yoo Seok was finally able to catch Jin Seok, but he seemed firm in his belief that he has never killed anyone. A doctor diagnosed Jin Seok with dissociative amnesia, stating that the memories of that year were so painful that he has shunned it out altogether. The doctor explains that the only way to regain the memory is to hypnotize Jin Seok and make him relive the incident to stir the memories back. They hired an actor to play the role of the mother, and each one of them played the role of his family. They brought him to live in the same house where he committed the murder. They locked the room where the murder took place so as to recreate the scene of that day. Yoo Seok tells him that, since nothing worked, he will now kill Jin Seok. Jin Seok, still reluctant to believe that he has killed anyone, runs. Yoo Seok chases after him, but meets with an accident. On the other hand, Jin Seok too gets hit by a truck and loses consciousness. Now we witness the memories of Jin Seok from 1997. He is shown to be traveling with his family in a car. When their car gets hit, both of his parents die. His brother's condition was critical, so he needed money for his operation. Due to the 1997 Asian financial crisis, the economic condition of the country was not good, and no one was hiring. The cost for the operation was very high. Jin Seok, who was unemployed, was trying his hardest to find work to save his brother. He posted on the internet regarding jobs. One day he receives an anonymous message from a person asking him if he was willing to kill someone for money. After much thought, Jin Seok finally agrees to the task in order to earn money and save his brother. The job was to kill the woman living in the house and to not harm the children. Jin Seok reaches the destination in order to fulfill the task. But seeing the woman sleeping with her child, he can't bring himself to commit such an immoral act, so he decides to leave. However, the woman wakes up and notices him. He tells her to be quiet as he will leave. But then her daughter appears from upstairs. On seeing a strange man with a knife and her mother, she screams and runs. Jin Seok chases after her, begging her to be quiet and that he means no harm. But in the commotion, the girl gets stabbed by mistake. Seeing her daughter lying on the floor, the woman screams. Jin Seok, in confusion, stabs her and kills her as well. When he tries to flee, the little boy approaches him asking about his mother's whereabouts. Jin Seok tells him to go to bed and count numbers. If he does so, his mother will come back. On leaving, he notices the family photo. It was a picture of the doctor who was treating his brother. He goes to confront the doctor about it. The doctor tells him that he was doing it for his children as he was bankrupt, and without the money from insurance his family will starve. But, since Jin Seok ruined his plan and killed his daughter as well, he will see to it that Jin Seok doesn't survive either. In the midst of the quarrel, the doctor falls from the roof and dies. Now, after regaining his memory, Jin Seok wakes up in the hospital with Yoo Seok standing beside his bed. He has survived the crash and now plans to poison him. Yoo Seok reveals to him that he is in fact the child of the family he ruined. He was the kid who he told to count the numbers. He tells him that after the death of his family, he was given to the orphanage by his relatives, and they took all the money. He wanted to know the truth behind the murder. He has recently received a piece of information that his father made his mother sign a lot of policies. He wanted to confirm if Jin Seok was in fact hired by his father to kill his mother. He wanted to know the motive behind it. Jin Seok lies and tells him he did it independently. However, Yoo Seok realizes that he is lying. Not being able to handle the truth of his family's murder, Yoo Seok jumps from the building and dies. Jin Seok too, on learning he committed murder, injects himself with poison and dies. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe the channel if you like the video, and click on the notification bell to get update on new videos.